Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Ashton Conley, aka Splash Ketchum, and you are tuning in to Two Peas in a Pod.
My nigga forgot a whole nigga, bro. Hey,
I was really just trying to see
it's
what you was
all
gonna say.
good. Hey,
Hey man, but
yo.
nah, hey, also on a real note, man, you're here with your host Brad and your other host Ashton Conley, aka Splash. You're tuning in to Two Peas in a Pod. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get straight to it. This is a segment that we haven't done before. This is gonna be called Threading the Needle. And what we're going to be doing here is just going over some interesting stories that we found on the web, specifically on Threads, the real replacement app for Twitter. I don't know about y'all. Brad, bro, you be on Threads? Because I be on Threads, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm rocking with Threads. It's way better than Twitter right now. It's got its issues. It's a little bit repetitive. Sometimes the feed doesn't refresh as often as it should, but it's got a better culture and I feel like ecosystem right now. X is all over the place and it's super like politically ramped right now. And it's not the app that we used to know and love called Twitter.
Yeah,
You like
I
Threads?
agree.
Hey man,
Man, I don't got social media like that, but I might just get it eventually.
said I might just get it eventually. An old man for real. All right, so the first thing I got for you from Threads actually is a little story. This story right here comes courtesy of authoress underscore Rosie underscore library on Threads, and it says a very interesting short story. Brad, am I the a-hole? Should I divorce my wife after she believed I was capable of something heinous? This kind of heavy straight out the jump, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, I don't really care. We'll get into it. I'm a 38-year-old male considering divorcing my 37-year-old wife. Last summer, around June, my stepdaughter, who's about 10 years old, had a friend sleep over. And I won't go into all the details, but to make a very long and terrifying story short, I was accused by that friend of something I did not do. I was arrested and detained for nearly a week before my brother hired an attorney on my behalf. Eventually, I was released without charges due to lack of probable cause. My wife and I had been married for 8 years and we have two kids together, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. I thought I knew her better than anyone. She was my best friend, my soulmate, my safe place, or so I believed. But that day, my stepdaughter's friend made those accusations and I was arrested. I can still vividly remember the look on my wife's face: absolute horror, disgust, revulsion. Even when I told her it wasn't true, even when I pleaded that she knew me better than that, she just looked at me like I was the lowest person alive. She didn't take my calls while I was detained. She didn't get me a lawyer. My brother did. When it was eventually revealed that my stepdaughter's friend had fabricated the story for TikTok attention, I was finally released and allowed to come home. Afterward, my wife tried to make things right. She became extra kind, attentive, and apologetic. She said sorry for not believing me. She explained in her defense, she didn't want to be the kind of mother who dismissed a child's reports of abuse. She said that too many allegations are ignored or not taken seriously, which can lead to further harm. We went through couples counseling together, trying to rebuild what was broken, but despite therapy and her many efforts, I can't seem to forgive her. I've lost my trust in her completely. Every time I look at her, all I see is that expression of utter disgust and horror as I was being taken away. She keeps begging me for another chance, and I don't know if I can give it to her. Throughout all of our years of marriage, we've always been united, best friends who talked openly and believed in each other and supported one another. I can't even remember the last time we had a real fight before this. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to give our marriage another chance and moving forward with a divorce? That's heavy.
Heavy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Why you think he the a-hole?
Honestly, I feel like two people could be right in the situation. For one, yeah, like as a mother, where would the child get that from? So you're supposed to be more inclined to believe that, because you're not just gonna think that your child or somebody else's child is just gonna make that up randomly.
Absolutely,
Especially if they've never
absolutely
been
agreed.
like exposed to something like that. So like you can't. So like
You can't
to
take that
one foot
allegation lightly. You can't
is that
take that allegation
exactly, you
lightly
can't take the allegation lightly.
at all.
On the other hand, it's like, damn, like, on his side, it's like, fuck, like, I was telling the truth, like, what do you do? I was telling the truth. Obviously, like, I wouldn't do that. You should have known me better than that, X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, man, like, hey, Don't put yourself in that position, bro. Why the fuck you got children sleeping over at your house? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so
Don't do
sleepovers can't
that.
so now
Don't-
sleepovers can't happen? Are you saying that that your household will be a no sleepover household?
Boy, don't sleep over at my house. My children is not sleeping over at your house. What are we doing?
You never like slept over your cousin's house?
At my cousin's house, I mean, that's different.
You
That's
never slept over
family.
a friend's house?
I
I mean,
mean,
my family,
nah, not till
my
I got to
people ain't really do
college.
that like that either. I mean, I used to spend that over my cousin's house for sure, but staying over the homie's house, not really. It's not too many times. I remember
That's what I'm
when I was like
saying.
in elementary school, one of my best friends, shout out to Sanish, one of my best friends, he used to do like sleepovers for his birthday. So like we'd be over there all day on like Saturday or like after school Friday, and then we'd be over there like all day Saturday, and then our parents would come get us. But he lived like around the corner from my house, literally. I definitely I definitely think he's the a-hole. And the reason why is
Yeah.
the context matters. It doesn't really tell us in the story the necessary context. It depends on how long it took her to like bounce back to reality. I can't say I have empathy, but I think I can see where he's coming from with like being hurt about it. But also at the same time, it's like you said, two people can be right. Those are allegations that you can't take lightly, like whatsoever. And considering like how fast they came out after, I'm assuming the sleepover, like the next day or the next week or so, you like how quickly they came out, or like it makes sense. Like, or if or if it happened like that night, that weekend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's heavy. So I definitely think she was in the right for believing a child, or at least being torn apart. Because you got to consider her emotions in that moment too. This man that I'm married to is probably probably the worst thing you can be on the planet. Honestly, that's probably the worst thing you can do on the planet.
Me?
So
For
I
sure.
definitely don't think she's wrong, but it's like, how long did it take her to be like, start believing him? Did she never give him an opportunity, like, to really plead? Did she never listen to him? Like, if it went on for a super long time, maybe I'll give him a little bit more slack for his feelings. But at the end of the day, we all have a duty and like an obligation to protect children. So when children are in the mix, your traditional feelings and senses kind of got to go out the window sometimes.
I ain't
And
gonna lie
children
to
can
you.
do crazy things, obviously, like this story. So like maybe you take it with a grain of salt, but that's not the type of accusation you take with it. But we're
At the same time, like I said, if I was a husband, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was the guy in this situation, I'd come back and I'd be like, "Hey, yo, you knew me, you know me, and you
oh
thought I did
he
that shit." Hey,
100%
I ain't gonna lie
deserves to
to
be
you.
hurt.
For
She
sure,
didn't take
gotta
his
pack
calls
your
while he
shit.
was detained.
Gotta pack your shit.
Well,
Got to get out
I
the
thought you
house.
said he was the a-hole.
He is, bro. But hey, you gotta be the a-hole sometimes. You can be the
Oh,
asshole,
so
but
you're
you
saying he's the a-hole and he's right?
yeah. But she's also right too, bro. Hey, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, bro. I'm sorry. Two
Hey,
people
bro,
can be right, but
you're
he's also the
interesting.
asshole, bro.
You're interesting. All right, so we back in it. All right, so we're back at it with threading the needle part 2. We got a kid here named Ryan Taylor from the H. You can follow him on Threads at Rye New, or I'm pretty sure his IG is probably the same. And here it says a kid from Houston, Mo City, got the opportunity to be included in the design process of a Jordan Jumpman 23 for his city. Back and forth flights from Paris to Houston, missed meetings, fearing I wouldn't even make the project, but faith carried. Faith always carried every choice, move, and decision because we all dreamed of that countdown moment to take the game winning shot. I've always wondered when that shot would fully come, and if it didn't, how it would feel. Well, I guess I'll never know. So let's check this out. So it looked like we got like a beige type of colorway, like this khaki John with this fluorescent like aqua blue. I wonder where he got the inspiration for this colorway. Like, what about this inspiration is Houston? It's hard. Now I know this hype video is hard for sure. What you think about these kicks?
So
Damn,
you know how
Buddy got a
one
thumb on
that's
him.
a
Hold on,
that colorway is fire.
that
But
colorway is
two,
fire.
a
Oh, I
you
thought these
remember
were
how after
futures, but they're
Harvey
actually retros. They're actually 11s.
facts. But remember how after Harvey, we helped out a whole bunch of houses, they got flooded. You remember
Yeah,
how the drywall looked for that color?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the color. That's the same color.
Nah,
But
I actually feel that watery molded stain color.
well, I mean, I wouldn't call it all that, but that's the color that I'm getting from that. I mean, the colorway is fire. It's a fire
The
tab,
colorway is
but that's
definitely
the color it
fire, but I
remind me
wonder
of.
like what about this colorway? Like, I wish if I could talk to Ryan New. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let us know what y'all think about these Johns. I think they're pretty fly. And then we're going to go into our last little bit of threading the needle, unless you got something else to say on that, Brad.
Sure.
All right. Boom. Here we got. Woman flexes her wedding ring to her friends after ignoring their advice not to cook, not to do laundry, not to pay for dates for her man. All right. So what you think? What you think? You know, this is obviously...
He found himself a keeper.
He found himself a keeper.
For sure.
Really, honestly, the reason I want to include this thread is because I really feel like, let's go to the comments. I really want to let's see what the comments got to say. She made a sandwich, watched the load, and don't mind reciprocating. Y'all act like she carried 12 boulders and walked 10 miles barefoot. I'm really confused why marriage rates are trash. This is why you don't listen to your single friends. Her friends told her not to apply to a job of servitude, but she did it anyway and got the job. See, they don't talk about people be hating. Might want to test the ring to see if it's real, if he can't pay for dates. She got a ring to be a slave to a man that'll still cheat. We all so hurt, bro. We all so hurt. That's what's killing me. We all so hurt. But I think this is a prime example of, common sense. You treat somebody like you care for them, you look after them, you take care of them, and they want to spend their life with you. I feel like men and women both get this confused so often, so many times, bro. Like, men are simple. We just want to be taken care of by somebody who care about us and that we attracted to, you know? We want to be babied a little bit. Like, not necessarily babied, but just like taken care of, looked after, you know? Just, you know, somebody to make your life easier. And I feel like men do the same thing. Men do the same thing where women just want some flowers, some cards, some gifts sometimes, some effort put into a hangout, and dudes be so not willing to give that we just all in shambles today in the dating scene, bro. What you think?
Yeah, what you said, because you apparently, you know, you're that nigga.
What?
No, I'm joking. But no, what you're saying is true. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of times people aren't putting in effort. I mean, it just is what it is nowadays in the dating scene. This young lady, she obviously applied herself to whatever she wanted, you know, hopefully that young man is also doing the same thing to maintain that as well. So, you know, congratulations to them, you know, hopefully more people follow suit. But like I said, he found himself a keeper.
Hey, man, people, be corny. Be corny. When you're in your relationships, be corny. All the stuff that we hear about growing up that matter to people, do it. Do it. Don't be afraid to be a simp, man. So that concludes it. That's so much for threading the needle. You know what I'm saying? Couple little cool stories or whatever just to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into this next thing, or let's go and go over some hot new music. I'm about to put this boy Brad on 3 songs that he's never heard before. And we're going to go ahead and see what he thinks about him today. Now, for today, I picked 3 artists from Houston that are making some pretty good music that I think is dope. So we're going to see Brad's live reaction to some of these songs. All right, this is the next track by a Houston artist named Ladamo. The title of this song is Where I Begin. It's a drop mic freestyle.
From a city where they take if they ain't got it. From a city where they'll take if they ain't no for real. From a city where they'll take if they ain't got it. You ain't doing nothing right if they ain't watching. People on my backside steady plotting. My bro like a locksmith, we forever locked in. I might dunk on a nigga, fuck around, make top 10. ESPN, me and her friend. Fuck on the low, got to give me my sins. What I don't know, that's just where I began. On the top of the mountain, I didn't reach my peak. On 2 different drugs, starting to feel a sluggish. I know that I'm way too geek. I can't come down, pound after pound. I smoke until I feel, but I still strong arm 'em. I'm from the hood, yeah, can't fight Adrian Brown. I won't sweat the bitch, ever won't catch me sitting down in no sauna. Remember all the times when I was broke and I picked it up. Life moves too fast if you ain't quick enough. They stab me in my back, I had to stitch it up. But it's okay, cause that make me bigger. They did me cold and just left me the sugar. You thought you was right, how the fuck did you figure? Up all night off the Addy and look, I can't pay for her flight. She asked me could I trip her. Stick my foot out on the hoe, yeah. I know one day I'ma blow, yeah. When I do, I tell them how it go. Take a trip across the globe, don't really know well. It'll be somewhere far away. late. You said that you wanna leave, I went and graduate. I'm trying to meet all my needs and make it before the grave. My shooter, he'll draw down and still won't leave a trace. And the hospital wall goes to the bitch with the lace. I can't front that bitch bad, but got a attitude. Posted up with a wood that I can't pass to you. I heard they took what you had, I feel bad for you. I hope that they come with insurance, I might crash the coupe. From a city where they'll take if they ain't got it. You ain't doing nothing right if they ain't watching. People on my backside steady plotting. My bro like a locksmith, we forever locked in. I might dunk on a nigga, fuck around, make top 10. ESPN, me and her friend. Fuck on the low, gotta give me my sins. What I don't know, that's just where I began.
All right, so that's Ladamo with Where I Begin. Lil Jon, I love the fact that he filmed it in a downtown court. That's definitely hard. I like the setup for the scene. I like the vibe of the music. I feel like, got that feel like that New Orleans kind of bounce to the beat.
Is that the court right
that
for the Toyota Center?
The fast BPMs. Yeah, that is over there right by the Toyota Center. But I like the fast BPMs on the beat. I really like with that hook. I might dunk on a ESPN, me and my friend. Hey, that John is hard. What'd you think about that, John, Brad?
So this guy right here, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, I fuck with it. This whole is
I feel
hard.
like you was like this because
I
it was
mean,
kind of in a little bit of a young boyish kind of mode.
Yeah, it had a little bit of a faster pace to it. He was kind of flowing on it, kind of singing on it a little bit. But I mean, I fuck with this one a lot.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the next song.
Yep.
All right, so this track right here is called Trap Shit by Lil A, who is a Houston rapper out of South Park, I believe. And this right here is a lot more, real, it's real, like the song say, like the name say.
Yeah. I should make trap my last name. We know out here serving exotic. Having these pound like gas game. Clean work. Now that we having, I can't have no bad name. We bustin', hit my line. I feel just like fast lane. Yeah. Nigga, my trap be booming on 4-5 ways. We having them to the moon. Nigga, my trap be booming. That SRT you can hear when I go boom. You can't get high like us when I light this bun. My soul go through the roof. Nigga, you can't trap with us when I hit that play. I'm counting up number blue. Look, bitch, I'm certified. When I hit that trap, I promise it's gon' boom. Look, bitch, I'm certified. When I'm in that car, I promise my stick get used. Ain't no question, nigga. You ain't gotta ask a nigga what I'm gon' do. You catch your blessing, nigga. Take the tank, I promise you gon' go cool. I was down bad on my ass, had to go give me some plays. Mama be trippin', no son out here trappin'. I ain't seen her in some days. She want me to change my route. I'm sorry, I cannot change my ways. That lady ain't been on drop. I'm trappin' hard, and we having bags for days. Bitch, I'm a player, I run this shit just like the mail. It's out of my body, she loving my smell. I can't tell you the business, nigga, you might tell. I'm trappin' so hard, shit, I just broke the scale. I'm play, got back and shit, all of the bills. I wanna put bustin' out for the mail. You both going like Texas, nigga, they sell. Yeah. Nigga, this that trap shit. Fiends callin', they been blowin' my phone, nigga, this that trap shit. Red bands, pop my fucking wrist, yeah, this that trap shit. Take your bags, floodin' the fucking kitchen, nigga, this that trap shit. Yeah. Nigga, this that trap shit. Fiends callin', they been blowin' my phone, nigga, this that trap shit. Red bands, pop my fucking wrist, yeah, this that trap shit. Take your bags, floodin' the fucking kitchen, nigga, this that trap shit. I just got a brand new phone for my client. I separate family from clientele. Tryna short a nigga on that low. I'll get you jack, nigga, nah, for real. Put my all into my hustle, nigga, I can't rely on nobody else. When this shit got bad, nigga, I was drowning. Ain't ask for nobody help. Nigga, I was so deep in that water, look up to God, and I found my fucking scale. Nigga, I trap for real. I ain't with y'all, I'm somewhere breaking down the bell. Yeah, having this pay, nigga, no rap shit. Run up the money, we get it all up the block. This that trap shit. Yeah. Nigga, this that trap shit. Fiends callin'.
All right, boom. So a quick 2 minutes right there.
You've clearly been holding out on me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You're such a hard ER.
I'd like to identify as a YN. No, I'm joking. But my pace, that was very interesting. No, I mean,
What
I
about
like
it was
that
your
one.
pace,
That one had a
Bradley?
it was a head bobbing song. It was a head bobbing song, what I'm saying? That's something that you get hyped to, You wake up, a good morning song. You're driving to work, getting ready to deal with a whole bunch of, project managers, clients, and everything like that. That's the song I want to hear. That is the song I want to listen to just to get me in the mood. You know what I'm saying? What I heard was he was grinding. He was drowning, and he
He
looked
said if
up.
it don't come from the
He found the
trenches, I'm
scale.
not really
That's what I'm
with it.
trying to do right now. I'm trying to level up. That's what I'm saying, bro. Hey, that's
You
the
in your,
that's
you
the
in
hype
your
song.
trap era?
Song of the year.
You and your trap song of the
Hey, I'm in
okay,
my
okay,
trap era,
okay.
bro.
Hey man, it's definitely honestly it's one of my favorite songs out
Song of
right
the
now.
year.
So I definitely can agree with a lot of what you're saying. All right, let's get
Yeah.
into one more. All right, this John is called "The Game Is the Game" by God Body Bingo.
Hey, you know the game is the game. The winners win, the losers lose. The early birds collect the worms before you get the press and snooze. One thing I ain't never ever seen was you heavy. Fresh taper, looking through my lenses like I'm Stringer Bell. Business drama action, I'm with all that like Keenan Kel. Business first, cleanliness is godliness, we did some dirt. Every man is sin, but things I did was to defend the turf. Gift and curse, no I must repent, but I ain't been in the church. God show up outside the sanctuary when you really search.
All right, so boom, that's "The Game Is the Game" by God Body Bingo. Bradward is a little bit of a deeper cut, lot more lyrical, lot more rhyme scheme. What you thinking about that, John?
I wouldn't even call it wordplay, but I mean, he's a lyricist with it. The way he kept kind of, flowing with the melody, keeping the obvious theme of obviously the game is the game and messing around different types of different games, kind of intertwining that into kind of his rap. I won't lie to you. This is definitely a head bopper for sure. I'm definitely enjoyed listening to this one. It's probably one of the ones that I'll probably go back and listen to other than trap shit again.
That trap, hey man, that trap shit. It's the horns, bro. It's the horns. The horns on that John
He
is
give it that
crazy.
old school beat, bro. He give it that old school vibe too, bro.
It gives that's bro. That's exactly what I said when I heard heard that song for the first time. Like I heard it live. I was at an event that Hard Body Kiati, like basically the biggest radio DJ or the biggest radio personality in Houston for real. I was at an event that he hosts called Press Play Mondays. Lil A was performing trap shit. Bro, them horns, bro. Them horns. He performed a couple other songs that I really rocked with, but that song got a vibe to it. It got a vibe to it.
Yeah.
And he didn't miss at all. Like in his lyrics on the song, the flows. He switched his flow a couple of times or one or two times in the song. The hook is hard. It's easy to remember. He did a lot of things right. And then you got this guy right here, God Body Bingo, that we just listened to. Crazy lyricist, And I feel like the Ladamo dude, he like somewhere in the middle between the two, like making a bop. But hey, man, it's some talent up here in Houston. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the sports zone. You know what I'm saying? The sports corner. Two peas in a pod is going to talk about this playoff picture here in the NFL. Let me go ahead and get this on the screen so we can see who's in the playoff picture right now in the AFC and the NFC and who's on the outside looking in.
Some of the teams on this side, you're just gonna be scratching your head like, how is this possible? How? I don't even know.
All right, so boom. Here is our current playoff picture, courtesy of Bleacher Room Gridiron. Appreciate y'all for the amazing graphic. So this is our playoff picture. You want to start with AFC or NFC first?
Let's start NFC.
I'm gonna say the teams that are on the outside looking in the NFC playoffs right now. We got the Lions are on the outside looking in. That's the 8th seed. They're not in. They're 6-4. We got the Panthers at 6-5 as the 9 seed. We've got the Vikings at 4-6 as the 10 seed, and the Cowboys 3-5-1 playing tonight. Should be 4-5-1 afterwards. And as the 11th seed. So the 4 teams on the outside with hopes are going to be the Lions, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Cowboys. So what do you think about the NFC playoff picture right now? You got 1 minute.
So my thoughts on this NFC playoff picture is I felt like it was fairly balanced for the most part. I kind of feel like the San Francisco 49ers, I feel like they shouldn't be in and kind of replace them with the Lions. I feel like the Detroit Lions probably be a better playoff team. But the NFC is one of those conferences that's kind of a little bit difficult.
I didn't realize the Lions were out the playoff picture.
I know until you said it. I feel like there's so many stacked teams that's in the NFC side that I feel like deserve a spot in the playoffs, at least a chance to make a run at it, maybe except for the Seahawks. But honestly, what surprises me as well is the Eagles being number 1. I'm surprised these guys are, trucking along. I thought they were going to be pumpkin, but apparently not. So, hey.
Well, I mean, we definitely going to defer there because I I think the Eagles are the best team in the league this year. And I think their argument for
Even
best
with your
team in the
tush push
league,
buddy.
I don't like the Eagles. It's not about liking the Eagles. It's about being objective. I don't like the Eagles necessarily. I don't hate the Eagles either, but the Eagles have been the best team in the league this year. And the reason I'll say that is they have a weird argument for best team in the league, but they're the number one overall seed in the NFC. They've beat good opponents throughout the entirety of their schedule. They've played good games. They've had a couple of losses that they could wish they could get back. One of their losses was actually a last-minute loss that they had no business losing. It was actually to the Broncos. Nobody believes in a lot of these teams behind them, and they're doing all of this with an offense that is clearly broken still. I thought that they had turned the corner a little bit when they had those 2 games back-to-back putting up over 30 or 28 or more. But then these past 2 weeks against good defenses, admittedly, in Green Bay and the Lions, I think they put up 13 points and like 10 points or something like that. So definitely not good offensive showings, but they still play extremely complimentary football. You have to give the Eagles their flowers when it comes to that. Rest of the NFC playoff picture, before I let you give you a spiel about the Eagles or rebuttal, I just don't trust the Bears. They're out of there. They're going to fall. They've been playing too shaky. I've watched a lot of Bears football, and that offense is not good. It's not good. The defense is not good either. Ben Johnson's doing a lot of work there. He's putting up a lot of magic in that coaching room. I want to believe in Tampa Bay, man, but the moment they started playing good teams, they started losing. San Francisco, I don't believe in them at all. But I know you want to get on your spill about the Eagles. What you got to say?
So when it comes to the Eagles, just like you kind of highlighted already, the reason why I don't believe I guess if you kind of give it to them by who they've kind of beaten and their record, I guess your record matters, but their offense is so inept. I don't believe that they'll do anything when the opportunity actually comes. I know people keep saying it, but like once the Rams play these guys again, I feel like the Rams might get it this time. I feel like Tampa Bay might get it this time. I feel like they've had enough close wins this season where I'm like, you know what? Give those teams one more opportunity, which they actually might face in the playoffs. We're gonna see, So.
I think the only team in the NFC that can beat the Eagles right now without having an A-level game is probably the Rams. Not even probably, it is the Rams. I don't really trust any of these other teams to knock the Eagles off without an A-level game.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me the Seahawks played bad and beat the Eagles, I'd be extremely shocked. You know what I'm saying?
Any given Sunday.
All right, so with that being said, I already gave my answer. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll recap it quickly. What 2 teams do you anticipate fall out of the NFC playoff picture?
Seahawks,
49ers. See, I wanted to go Seahawks over 49ers just because the 49ers are a really well-ran organization. They're used to competing, but they've just suffered so many injuries. I don't believe in them staying 100% healthy through the rest of the way of the season. I just don't anticipate that, and I just think they're probably going to take a little bit of a step back. Why do you think the Seahawks are going to fall off?
Honestly, the reason why I feel like the Seahawks are going to fall off is I know the old, Sam Darnold, he is going to fail. I've seen him kind of,
This past
struggle
week,
these
man,
last
4
couple
picks, but they
games.
only lost by 2.
I know,
4
and
picks, but they only
that's
lost
a
by
testament
2.
to the Seahawks defense. But
But
honestly,
this the Rams team that's supposed to be prolific.
And I'm just like, I don't really trust it. I get it, he's played good, but the same way he collapsed with the Vikings, I feel like that's what's going to happen right now with the Seahawks, especially
He
as
kind of
these
did
games
that in
start
this
to
past
matter.
week's game. He did that in this past week
As
11
the
game.
games start to matter, I feel like he's going to be folding.
Okay. With that being said, let's go ahead and move into our next question. What team on the outside of the NFC playoff picture do you expect to make a run? We've got the Lions at 6-4, Panthers at 6-5, Vikings at 4-6, and Cowboys at 3-5-1.
Brother, I'm going to get this out the way. Cowboys don't have a chance. Not this season. Pains me to say that. I say it with a smile on my face, but
why would
the
it
team I
pain you
feel
to
like
say
is
it?
going to have a...
You have no vested interest in the Cowboys. It brings you joy.
Now, I feel like the Lions are going to make a good run for it. I feel like the Lions are best equipped for it. They are kind of struggling, which is kind of surprising. I believe you said they're 6-4 right now, so technically their record isn't bad. It's just I believe they just lost a couple of tiebreakers. I mean, they've lost the tiebreakers to Green Bay, which I think they still play them one more time. So they have the opportunity to kind of rectify that. Them being behind the 49ers is kind of surprising, but I mean, I guess that guy Mac Jones did do something while Brock Purdy was out. But I feel like Brock Purdy is going to also kind of regress. So that's going to give the Lions the opportunity to kind of sneak into that 7th spot, potentially go further, depending on if Green Bay slides.
Yeah. I think the team that slides in that division is if anybody slides in that division, it's gonna be the Bears, man. I think it's gonna be the Bears. If Green Bay slid, it'd have to be because Jordan Love was playing awful. I think the Bears have the least talented team in that NFC North division, despite the fact that they're leading it. Because I think it'll be the Lions. I think the Lions will definitely make a move into it. I don't trust the Panthers. I don't believe in the Panthers. You will have to hold my feet over a fire for me to admit that Bryce Young is anything relevant in the league. Well, until let me not just say I'm hating on him like that. Until he does it for like a whole season and has like a good playoff performance and they lose. Like it has to be a complete. He can't be having he just threw for 400 some yards, like 4 or 5 TDs or something like that. I don't know, or 3 TDs. He had a monster game, but then he also has games where he has like 150 passing yards and they win. So that Carolina Panthers team is all over. I don't know what to think of them at all. Out of the Vikings and the Cowboys, who I believe were more likely to make a run at the playoffs, definitely the Cowboys, but I don't think either one of those teams are getting to the playoffs at all. I said that at the beginning of the season. I expected the Cowboys to miss the playoffs this year, and it's looking just like that. We should be 5-3-1 right now, and we lost 2 games we had no business losing. And based on those two, those were the season. When this team doesn't have a large margin of error, this team's defense isn't good enough to go on an extended win streak, and the offense doesn't perform with enough confidence on a week-to-week basis for the Dallas Cowboys in order to go on a win streak based off the strength of the offense. Like, they need the defense to show up in the turnover margin in order for them to go on a win streak longer than I'll probably say 2 games. Seriously. So the Cowboys would literally have to win tonight and really go on a run. I'd probably say like a 4-game win streak to even have a shot at the playoffs. But this team is not capable of going on that. The Dallas Cowboys team is not capable of going on a 4-game win streak unless they really have a spirited change. God rest his soul. Like maybe if Marshawn Nealon's passing ignites the locker room and they really start playing together and as a team, and maybe the defense finds a new leaf because they're inspired or honoring their fallen teammate. That's the only thing I could think of. It would literally take a complete kind of mojo shift in that locker room because the Cowboys they play like a team. They play like that kid on the basketball court who don't know that he got it. Where like you can see he's got a good jumper, you can see he can slide his feet and play some defense. He's taller than most. He's got a handle on the ball, but just afraid to shoot, afraid to have it in his hands. That's what the Cowboys remind me of. So, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the you got anything to add on that before we hop into this AFC playoff picture?
No.
All right, so AFC playoff picture. For the number 1 seed, we've got the Denver Broncos at 9-2. For the 2 seed, we've got the New England Patriots at 9-2. For the 3 seed, we've got the Colts at 8-2. For the 4 seed, we've got the Steelers at 6-4. Then we've got the Bills as the 5 seed at 7-3. And then we've got the Chargers at 7-4 for the 6 seed. We've got the Jags at 6-4 for the 7 seed. And just on the outside looking in, we've got the Texans at 5-5. We've got the Chiefs at 5-5. We've got the Ravens at 5-5. And we've got the Dolphins at 4-7. And then the Bengals at 3-7. But who really cares? So with that being said, which one of these AFC playoff teams is the biggest fraud? We'll just say it on 3 because we'll just say it together because it's the same thing. 3, 2, 1. The Denver Broncos.
Jaguars. Wow.
Why are you delayed?
I said at the same time.
I don't know about that. You think the Jags?
I said the Jaguars.
Wait. Let's stop.
You're saying the Broncos?
Let's stop. Cannot let your bias get this far in the way of who you're picking. I know you want the Texans. I know we want the Texans to make the playoffs. And I definitely think the Jaguars will fall out of the playoffs. They've looked just horrendous since beating Kansas City. even though they just blew out the Chargers. That was one of their best games, and they still didn't look good, even despite that inning score being 35-6. Come on, bro. Be for real.
Look, even if it's not another AFC South team that's on there, the Jaguars don't deserve to sniff the playoff with a 10-foot pole. They suck.
You just hate the Jaguars.
Very
Don't cuss so
trash
much,
team.
man. You just hate the Jags. All right. So you think the Jags. Why do you think the Jags? Tell me why you think the Jags are the most fraudulent team here in the AFC playoff picture. Other than I
Well,
want the Texans
one,
to make the
they're,
playoffs.
but like I was about to say, so 3 of the last 4 teams that's made the Final Four essentially for the past 2 seasons are below these guys. 3 of those teams are much more deserving to be in the playoffs over the Jaguars. Those 3 teams being the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Houston Texans, all at 5-5. The Jaguars also, a lot of their wins, I feel like they're very lucky wins. Trevor Lawrence, he's
That
had like
Kansas
2
City
good
game was
games, and
lucky.
that was a lucky game, and that was one of his good games. I mean, this guy, he randomly just turned it on, but he hasn't displayed that, this entire season. Then, like, there's really nothing to look forward to. Their defense is kind of top-notch, but is their defense really going to keep holding them up this entire season? I don't think so. So, like I said, they're the most fraudulent team. And just because the Broncos, we both, might not like the Broncos as much, I don't feel like they're fraudulent as far as being in the playoffs. Maybe being number 1, maybe. But being fraudulent all the way, they deserve a playoff spot.
I didn't say
I don't
fraudulent
believe
means all the way out the playoffs.
Jaguars,
Fraudulent don't mean they
I
fall
feel like
out the
when you say
playoffs.
fraudulent, you don't deserve a spot. Because once you're in the dance, you're in the dance. So if you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. I don't care if you're 1 or 7. Like, if you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. But
That's
if you're not
true.
in,
That's not true.
no,
That's not true.
we're going to have to agree to disagree.
No, because all of these 7 seeds aren't built equal. No team has come out of the 7 seed to do anything in the playoffs at all. I don't think any team has come out of the 6 seed for real to do anything in the playoffs at all. Just because you're in the playoffs doesn't mean that you are a legit squad. The Broncos, as the number 1 overall seed, especially with this win streak they're on and the fact that they won all these games in the fourth quarter, their defense is great, but I still don't believe it. I think the rest of their season is not going to be as hot as they've been over this first little more than a half of a season. They're going to fall off. And I think by the time the playoffs come, no one's going to be afraid to play the Broncos. That's what I mean when I say that they're fraudulent. I think
But
if you
it's
look
the
at
same
these
way the
other
Chiefs
teams,
was winning all last season.
you said what?
I said it's the same way the Chiefs was winning all last season, though. A lot of these tic-tac
No,
wins.
these games are way different. The Chiefs won tight games last season, but the Chiefs were in control of those games. The Chiefs weren't completing crazy fourth quarter comebacks to win these games. They were literally ball controlling the game. The Chiefs were winning games last season a lot like the Philadelphia Eagles are winning games this season with championship medal. And the Chiefs also deserve a benefit of the doubt and a lot of credit and respect that the Broncos don't deserve at all. That's easy. That's
Hey,
easy.
man,
You don't even
I'm
believe in the
playing back
Broncos. There's
those
no reason for you to
games.
defend them. I'm just saying why I think they're fraudulent. Teams you think are most likely to
Devil's
fall out of the
advocate.
AFC playoff picture outside of the Jaguars, since you already said the Jags. For me, it's easy here. I'll say Pittsburgh. Baltimore's running them down. Straight up. Baltimore's running them down. I didn't think Baltimore was going to be able to do it. I thought Baltimore was wasting their time, but they managed to pull it together. They won some games. They won that game that Tyrod Taylor didn't start in, that they kind of didn't have no business winning. I mean, that Tyrod Taylor started, that everybody thought Lamar was going to play in. They stole that game. That was huge. Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers just got hurt, and they just don't look like they're going to turn that corner. I thought Pittsburgh would be about 7-3. Right now, I didn't think they'd be 6-4, and the Ravens are 5-5. Pittsburgh's falling out the playoffs. Everybody, I can see the Chargers falling out the playoffs too. Honestly, I'm going to say the Chargers are definitely falling out the
That's what I was
playoffs,
gonna say.
and Pittsburgh is falling out the playoffs. The Chargers just don't look good to me, for real. The Chargers, they have a good record, they have a decent record, but their season has been shaky. And the fact that they just got dominated by the Jacksonville Jaguars like that, I don't care who's injured on your offensive line. You getting dominated by a team that's barely worthy of even being in the playoffs. You're not going very far, even if you do make it there. But I see them coming down. They're definitely going to lose their second matchup with the Chiefs, and they're just going to have a tough time. What do you think? Who do you think is going to fall out outside the Jags?
I guess it's funny that you said those 2 teams, because even if you did include the Jags, I felt like those 2 teams were my top 2 choices. Pittsburgh, you pretty much obviously kind of laid out pretty much like the blueprint of how basically about what's going to happen. I feel like the Ravens are going to hog down the Steelers, and I feel like Kansas City is going to hog down the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers, they're kind of wishy-washy sometimes. I mean, I feel like Justin Herbert, he might not be that guy, but people believe he's that guy. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you just got to give it to the team. Like, I feel like they're going to fall out. If I'd have to put, like, who's the most likely team to fall out this entire playoff prediction, I'd honestly say the Chargers. Like, I feel like they're on a downward slope, and I feel like they're trying to make a lot of excuses for Justin Herbert.
Now, I see they are making so many excuses for Justin Herbert. Every time a lineman gets hurt, oh, well, this person's hurt, or this person's hurt. Bro, you still got to play. Now, I'm not talking about the people that's hurt that's got to play.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the quarterback. You got who you got in there, man. Make it
No,
work
no,
to some
I know
extent.
exactly.
It sounds like they just giving up.
Exactly.
It feels like
He's not
35 to
throwing
6
as
to the
much.
Jags
they're
is
running
giving
too
up.
much.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to see who the Chargers have left on the
always an
schedule.
excuse.
So you said what?
I said there's always an excuse with these guys.
So here's the remaining schedule for the Chargers. They got the Raiders next week, then the Eagles, then the Chiefs, then the Cowboys, then the Texans, then the Broncos. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Chargers could end the season 0-5. I could see them losing to the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Broncos all back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yep,
I could easily see that.
I can see it happening too.
Let's go see who the Jags got left, because that's who else we don't believe in to really make it to the playoffs. The Jags got Cardinals. Oh, the Jags
They
got
the
Cardinals,
Colts
Titans.
twice, don't they?
They got Cardinals, Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. The Texans have already played the Jags twice this season. We won one, lost one.
I said they got the Colts.
Yeah, they got the Colts twice, but they'll probably split with the Colts.
Yeah.
They do got a soft schedule. I'm not gonna lie, they do have a soft schedule. The Jags might actually stay in the playoff picture, but with how bad they're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose a couple of these games. But they got games against the Cardinals, the Jets, and the Titans twice.
I
So
know we're
low-key,
not talking about it, but have you seen the Texans' next 3 games?
the Texans have a tough stretch coming up, don't they?
Yeah, we do. The next 3 games gonna be tough.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The Texans pooped their season starting at 0-3. That 0-3 in them one-score games with the Rams, Bucks, and Jags. That Jags loss really hurt, and then that Broncos loss. The Broncos ain't having no business. If they didn't knock CJ out that game, bro, that was the game they knocked CJ out, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about CJ Stroud missing. CJ Stroud missing 2 games for a concussion. Hey, you won't hear anybody on TV saying that for sure. I know if I was on TV, I definitely wouldn't say it. But I'll put it like this. I'm not even saying like he's wrong for missing the 2 games. I just want to be more educated on the science behind it. And maybe it's out there and I need to go find it and look for it. But yeah. All right, so of the 3 teams on the outside of the AFC playoff picture looking to make it in, we've got the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Ravens all at 5-5. Of those 3, do you think all 3 will make it in, or what 2 do you believe will make it in? We can already start with replacing the Pittsburgh Steelers with the Baltimore Ravens because we both agree that the Ravens will run them down in that division. So that leaves the Texans and the Chiefs vying for one more playoff seed. What do you believe happens there? Or do you believe they both get in and the Jags end up falling out and the Chargers end up falling out?
What I honestly believe is that I believe the Chiefs make it in to that 7 seed spot. Texans we have a tough 3 games. And depending on how CJ Stroud comes back against the Bills, that's going to determine whether we're going to actually make this playoff push ending the rest of the season. So, like I said, at bare minimum, I know for a fact the Jags are not going to be in there. I know we can at least give that next spot to the Chiefs.
I don't know, man. The Jags schedule is so soft. The Jags schedule is so soft. Let's go. This is the Chiefs schedule here. They got Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. So of that left, they've got 1, 2, I'd probably say 3, about 3-ish cakewalk games, or 2.5 cakewalk games in the Titans, the Raiders, and then I'm saying the Cowboys is a half of a cakewalk game because if the Cowboys offense shows up, you could lose. You really could. But outside of that, then they got competitive games against the Colts, the Texans, and the Broncos, and the Chargers. The Broncos aren't beating them twice in a season. The Chargers aren't beating them twice in a season. And the Colts, coming off the bye week, after the week they just got blown out, I don't really know. That's a Kansas City dub. And Kansas City lost 2 games in a row
Kansas City too.
You said what?
We got to get the dub against the Chiefs though.
You talking about the Texans? This is who the
Yeah.
Texans got left. We
It's a
got
revenge
Bills,
game.
Colts, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, and Colts.
Yeah, we got a tough stretch ahead of us.
Oh, and that Bills game is a Thursday night game. That's this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it depends on how CJ comes back. That's why we held him out against the Titans, bro. We needed him ready for the Bills.
I think they could have held him out because they felt like they could beat the Titans without him, but we almost lost. I think
know
with
that
the
part about
Texans
it.
remaining schedule and the Jags remaining schedule, I'm not gonna lie, we need the Jags. We can't run down the Jags without the Jags also being bad. Like, we really need the Jags to actually fall off. And the Jags schedule is so soft.
Yo.
All right, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Two Peas in a Pod. I'm your boy Ashton Conley, aka Splash. I'm here with my wonderful host, Brad. And today we brought you Threading the Needle, Houston's hottest, and, good little sports corner. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to episode 3. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Appreciate you for everybody who's been supporting us already. But we definitely see all the comments. We appreciate everyone who's just been showing love, man. We're only on episode 3, but we got a lot more to come. We're only going to keep getting better and better as we keep doing the pod. So that's all I got, man. Brad, what you got?
Say thanks to everyone. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, pin, do everything. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and follow us, Go ahead and follow the YouTube page. Go ahead and follow the personal pages. Just don't follow us home, But do everything you got to do. Appreciate y'all for watching. Have a good one.
Hey, man, y'all stay up.